season, and there were 7 seniors playing on the field hockey team, and they wanted to leave Johnson Field on a high note. Take a look at this game footage they played against Columbia and had a pretty awesome game for all these fans coming out for the last time.
Just 10 minutes in, and it's junior Harriet Thayer showing why the second effort matters, not going in and to give Yale the early 1-0 lead. Meanwhile, Elizabeth Friedlander making her last game at Johnson Field look good, sliding here for the nice save. Meanwhile, the senior Rachel Lentz barely misses here, but keep doing that thing you do, and just minutes later, it's Lentz again. This time, Thayer finds Lentz in the same spot, and the team's leading scorer Lentz hits it home to make it 2-0 Yale. Yale simply dominated the first half, but Columbia kept pace in the second, as here Christine Busak deflects one in the unsuspecting Friedlander, cutting the Yale lead to 2-1. But then E just takes over. Go ahead and try to beat her again, as the All-Star senior makes some phenomenal saves to keep Yale in front in their final home game of 2006. And just call Lentz the Energizer Bunny, because she keeps going and going. First, a great save by Lions' Jenna Miller keeps this tough shot out, but then off the corner, and Lentz will wrestle it away from the Columbia goalie and scores her team-high 7th goal of the year to give Yale a 3-1 lead. Yale then pours salt on the wound in the 61st minute when the senior Emily Palonis knocks one from outside the circle past the Columbia goalie, as 3 seniors come away with points on senior day, and Yale leaves Johnson Field with heads held high, winning it 4-2. For the Elis, it's the first win in their last 6 games, and 4 goals matches their highest output of the season when they beat Cornell 4-2 a month ago. It was a great way to go out for the team's 7 seniors, all of whom saw playing time in the game and were honored for their careers in a pregame ceremony.
So, just a great way for the field hockey team to end their season. For all 7 seniors leaving Johnson Field with their heads held high. Rachel Lentz, you got to be happy for her. A mediocre season last year. Led the team with 7 goals this year. Elizabeth Friedlander, a great way to go out. Just congratulations to all those seniors on the field hockey team. They will travel to Brown this weekend, and if they win, they'll finish above 500 with a 4-3 Ivy League record, way off from their 1-6 record last year. And not only that, but a 2nd place finish in the Ivy League. So this team, like I said, much different than last year's team.
With all the focus on seniors this week, Neil, let's take a look at our Player of the Week. Sophomore John Carlos, a midfielder for the men's soccer team, scored 2 goals and had an assist against Columbia. He was named Ivy League Player of the Week and is 4th on the team in points. The team will close out their season this weekend against Brown. Neil?
So John Carlos, really happy for him. Fellow morsel, he's a good kid. But looking at the volleyball team now, they went into this weekend really sitting in top first place all alone, but facing off against 2 very tough teams with last year's defending champ Cornell and then against Columbia. On Friday at Cornell, the team fell 3-1 in a tough match, splitting the season series with Cornell, and they really needed a win going into Columbia. Let's take a look at how they did.
Yeah, we pick up the exciting women's varsity volleyball action here at Columbia in Game 1. Yale serves to the Columbia team, and they really look good, moving the ball laterally from one part of the court to the other here, going for the kill. But it was a problem for Columbia all day finishing. They couldn't put icing on the cake. Speaking of icing on the cake, Shannon Farrell and Morgan Hume really gave the Columbia attacker a real fiesta party with this big block. Yale defense looked stellar all day, real crisp. Columbia, though, really wanted to rise to the occasion here, and they started to show promise here. The ball movement was there, they had a good attack, they had good defense, but again, finishing, they just made mental errors just like that all game. Yale in the near court now in Game 2 after taking Game 1 in workmanlike fashion. And here, again, we're going to see the real power and pungency of Yale's offense. The kill by Alexis Cruz. It looks like she's throwing a sinker there. That thing had topspin on it or something. Yeah, game point now in Game 2 for Yale, and keep your eyes on number 8, Allie Mendenhall. Watch as she doesn't really move throughout the course. Oh, she got a block. That's the game. Yeah, she's pretty athletic or something. That looked good. Columbia back in the near court as we are in Game 3, and Anya Perlebach hits the serve, and unfortunately for the Columbia team, this is not your 3rd grade one-bounce game. That's an ace for the Yale captain. Things just go from bad to worse for the Columbia team. The proverbial sweater of Columbia volleyball really unraveling here as we are on match point for Yale, and that's the game. Yale wins straight sets. Really crisp performance coming off 2 losses, though, as Yale will go next Friday to avenge their loss to Princeton on the road. Exciting stuff.
So the volleyball team enters their biggest weekend of the season up to date when they traveled this Friday to Princeton to face off against the number 2 Princeton team in the Ivy League in a must-win match for the Elis before traveling Saturday to Penn in also a big match. Good luck to the girls this weekend.
Should be an exciting weekend for the volleyball team. But we also had a past week of excitement as there was tons of top plays, and let's get right into it, Neil, with number 3.
Number 3, final home game of the season for the men's soccer team, playing in overtime, and a pass to Josh Block, the senior who barely sees playing time on the field, makes a big pass to James Stewart. He shoots, he scores, as the men upend Columbia 4-3 in overtime to go out on a high note.
Number 2, the big man, sophomore Bobby Hebert, takes the interception, and he starts down the field. He's stumbling and bumbling all the way to the end zone. He scores in the 21-3 victory over Columbia.
Finally, men's hockey versus number 8, University of New Hampshire. Overtime. Alec Richards, the sophomore, makes an amazing save with a kick save, keeping it alive for the Elis in OT. Then, Greg Beller, minutes later, the freshman defender, he's on the breakaway. He shoots, he scores as Yale upsets number 8, University of New Hampshire. A great play there.
Sure was an exciting weekend, Neil. But before we close out the show, we can't end without telling you why Harvard sucks. This week's reason why Harvard sucks is they charge money for the game. Students don't get in for free. Instead, it's a lofty price of $15. That's our reason why Harvard sucks. Their budget must be in bad shape or something. That's it for this week's show. Hope you enjoyed it. For Neil Horowitz, I'm Stephen Horn. We'll see you next week.
The lights go on.